Our Earth is over 4.5 billion years old. In this unimaginably long time, the blue planet has been constantly reshaping itself. Continents breaking apart and drifting back together. Oceans opening up and closing again. Life constantly reinventing itself. It is a change that continues to this day, and we still marvel at what our planet produces, even though we know only a tiny fraction of its long history. Around 150 million years ago, we enter the age of the Jurassic. Most of the land masses still belong to the supercontinent Pangaea, yet cracks are beginning to appear. One day, these will open up to form the Atlantic Ocean. The climate is predominantly warm and stable, with hardly any noticeable seasonal changes. Many regions are humid, crisscrossed by rivers and swamps, yet vast arid landscapes also shape the scenery. The vast forests are dominated by conifers, ginkgos, and ferns. Flowering plants will not appear for many millions of years to come. In this green world, life is thriving. Gigantic herbivores such as Brachiosaurus and Stegosaurus roam the land in herds, always in search of water and food. But among them lurks a predator, one that helps shape the balance of this world. The Allosaurus, one of the apex predators of the Jurassic period. On the shore of a tranquil lake, a rare scene of peace unfolds. Not far from the resting herbivores, a pair of Allosaurs has settled down among ancient ferns and conifers. Lily and Loki bask in the sun, keeping watch over their clutch of eggs. 15 eggs, carefully hidden in a shallow nest, hold the promise of their bloodline's future. But it will be months before new life breaks free from the shells. Months of perilous waiting, where every tremor, every predator, and even a passing herd could turn into a deadly threat. This lake is not the sole domain of the Allosaurs. Not far from their nest, the towering plates of Stegosaurs rise like living fortresses. Brachiosaurs, too, have chosen this place as a resting ground, moving with majestic calm through the nearby groves of trees. Though they are feared predators, the herd is no prey for Luma and Loki. Too large, too dangerous. And so, they tolerate their neighbors, and for a few hours, peaceful coexistence prevails. But Luma and Loki cannot linger at the lakeshore forever. After a few hours, a bold Dryosaurus ventures too close to their resting spot, prompting the two to make a momentous decision without knowing it. Hunger drives the Allosaurs to hunt, and so they depart, following the trail of the small, nimble Dryosaurus. Then, the idyllic calm begins to fade. At first, barely noticeable, just a gentle trembling in the ground, as if the earth itself had held its breath. But the dull rumble grows, gaining strength until it rolls through the terrain like a distant thunderstorm. Within moments, the intermittent rumbling turns into a panic-inducing tremor. The once picturesque landscape is transformed into pure chaos, as the Stegosaurs and Brachiosaurs can no longer hide their fear. With thundering steps, the long-necked herbivores set their multi-ton bodies in motion. Branches snap, tree trunks splinter under their weight, and with every colossal stride, the ground is stirred into clouds of dust. Even the stegosaurs cannot withstand the earthquake. With guttural calls and panicked snorts, their herd scatters. Their plates sway like sails in a storm as the massive bodies jostle chaotically. Some attempt to flee toward the water, while others rush back into the forest. In their panic, some of the herbivores charge straight into the territory of the Allosaurs, where the eggs still lie unattended, waiting for their parents' return. In their icy terror, the herbivores become a thundering force of nature, flattening everything in their path. The small, fragile eggs are utterly defenseless against these gigantic, unstoppable bodies. As the mass panic and the quake subside, an eerie silence returns. The earth no longer trembles. The dust slowly settles, and only the remnants of chaos bear witness to nature's destructive power. Finally, the parents return to their nest. Not all the eggs have fallen victim to the disaster. Of the 15, 2 remain intact. Small miracles amid the devastation. Luma and Loki settle beside them, distressed yet vigilant and protective. From this moment on, no risk will be taken. The future of their lineage now depends on these 2 eggs and the unwavering care of their devoted parents. Several weeks later, the lake, once brimming with life, lies still and parched. A drought has gripped the landscape, and the large herbivores have moved on. Yet Luma and Loki have remained true to their vow. Despite the heat, despite hunger, the parents have not abandoned their brood. Luma and Loki stay, day after day, night after night. And then, their perseverance finally pays off. After months of waiting, the young break through their shells. With Snow and Vitus, new life begins, fragile yet precious. The young family must now act swiftly to ensure their survival. The drought has swept the landscape bare for miles around. Every trace of the herbivore herds has vanished, and with them, the Allosaurs' source of food. Day after day, the family trudges through the scorching heat, gratefully making use of every small waterhole they find. Then, one day, Loki spots salvation. In the distance, he thinks he sees the carcass of a Brachiosaurus. A hallucination? No, it is real. Loki signals to his family to slowly stalk their prey. In a place like this, caution is imperative. And their caution is well justified. A hungry Ceratosaurus was quicker and is now feeding on the lifeless Brachiosaurus. Yet the Allosaurs cannot be deterred. If they leave this carcass to the other predator, their chances of survival drop to almost zero. Loki makes a decision. With determination, he approaches the Ceratosaurus and lets out a threatening growl, hoping to drive the competitor away. But the Ceratosaurus is desperate enough to defend the prey with its life. Suddenly, the inevitable battle erupts between the two skilled hunters. Loki casts aside all restraint and strikes at his rival's neck, yet the smaller, lighter Ceratosaurus stands its ground. After each attack, the adversaries circle one another, dust rising into the air, claws scraping across the ground. The Ceratosaurus lands a few strikes, but against the far more powerful Allosaurus, it stands no chance in the end. With a final hiss, it retreats. Though starving, Loki proves himself in the duel. The triumph is his, and the carcass now belongs to him and to his family. Three years after their dramatic entrance into the world, the fragile hatchlings have grown into two formidable hunters. Nearly fully grown, they have now separated from their parents to forge their own path in the age of the Jurassic. While they search for prey each day, it becomes increasingly clear that meat alone is not enough to ensure their survival. Their instincts nudge them, day by day, to also consider their future. Like their parents before them, the two siblings must also think of continuing their lineage. And so, each sets out on their own in search of a mate to keep the wheel of evolution turning. As a male, Vitus must assert himself against rivals to win the favor of a female. Such confrontations are part of the ancient mating ritual. Not everyone is allowed to pass on their legacy. Only those who demonstrate strength, endurance, and determination stand a chance. Vitus has prevailed. Snow, on the other hand, faces a different challenge. For her success in mating, it is not strength that matters, but sound judgment. Males approach with conspicuous displays of dominance to demonstrate their strength. Such rituals are more than empty gestures. It does not always come to a bloody fight. Sometimes, mere displays of threat are enough to assert dominance, and so Snow makes her choice. Time proves their instincts right. The two siblings have produced new clutches with their respective mates. Soon, from these precious eggs, a new generation will hatch one that will one day venture out to continue the story of their species. But for now, they rest in the safety of their family, protected from a world full of dangers that awaits beyond. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out the previous ones as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps support this project. See you next time.